Welcome to NDE Insight. Get ready for stories that go beyond life and death. Whether it satisfies your curiosity, strengthens your spiritual beliefs, conquers your fear of death, or eases the pain of loss, we're here for you. So, sit back, relax, and let the journey begin.
Hey, I'm Joe. Let me share something personal that happened to me back in November 2003. It was a tough time because just 3 months before that, I lost my mom and a friend in accidents, my mom in a car crash, and my friend in a plane crash we were both in. After the plane crash, I ended up with a broken left ankle, had to take a break from the army, and then got the heartbreaking news about my mom's passing 3 days later. A few months later, I got hit with another blow. I was diagnosed with stomach cancer. The treatment was rough, and there was even a slim chance that one of the medications could cause a heart attack. As I went through the treatments, I started having chest pains. One day, it got worse, and I had to lie down. My brother, who was an army medic, checked on me and found out I was having a heart attack. He called 911, started treatment, and worked on me until the fire department arrived. In the emergency room, I felt my body go numb, and my chest was heavy. I started seeing the room go black, and I had a hard time hearing everyone around me. But I heard my doctor say, "No, we can't lose him, let's keep going, I don't want to lose him." Then everything went black and deadly quiet. I thought I was in a waiting room, seeing my doctor talk to my dad. My brother walked in, feeling guilty and lost. I tried to tell him I was okay, but he couldn't hear me. It reminded me of what my sister went through in her near-death experience a few weeks earlier. Again, everything went black, and I felt like I was reviewing my life. Then, a fog filled the place, and I sensed myself moving in darkness. Someone called my name, saying it's okay, and this is my home. They were there to guide me, but I felt something was off. I wanted to go back, but they told me I couldn't because my time on Earth was done. They insisted I keep moving, promising I'd see my mom soon. The voices kept telling me to move forward, but every time I looked back, I felt something bad was coming. I told myself I didn't want to go further until they told me where we were going. They said we reached our point, and I was where I needed to be. Then, I smelled something like sulfur and death, and the voices started laughing, saying this was what my life caused me to have. I asked where I was and what was going to happen next. The voices just laughed and repeated what I said. It felt like I had to be in hell, which was confusing because it wasn't like what my sister said about heaven. The voices then claimed there was no heaven for me, and this was my heaven. That's when they mentioned it was feeding time. Suddenly, I felt pushed against a wall, arms pinned, and saw what looked like hairballs with sharp teeth coming at me. The voices turned into little monsters, transforming between hairballs and monsters. They were the ugliest things I'd ever seen, like a mix of snakes, bats, and horned creatures. Their faces looked like snakes with fangs, and they had wings and pointed horns on their heads, nothing like earthly horns. As these weird creatures turned into hairballs, I got super confused. I asked them why they changed, but they just laughed and told me to be quiet. It got scarier as they came closer, making me feel really sick. While all this was happening, I couldn't stop thinking about where my mom was and if God was around. Sadly, things got worse as they started feeding on me. Feeling a strange urge, I started saying the 23rd Psalm out loud. Surprisingly, they stopped for a moment, making fun of me. I didn't give up and kept saying, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This made them huddle in a pile, saying there was nobody to save me. Ignoring them, I kept on saying the 23rd Psalm. "I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy staff and thy rod, they comfort me." And suddenly, I felt my arms go free. Thinking I was stuck in a kind of hell, I continued reciting the psalm, trying to remember every word. A comforting feeling surrounded me, so I closed my eyes. Then I heard a voice say,
Joe, it's me. Open your eyes. It's really going to be okay.
I knew the voice was from my friend Sandy, who died in a plane crash several months ago. Then I heard another voice say,
Sandy, he is too scared to open his eyes right now. Maybe you can get him to open his eyes.
Then I knew that I heard my mom because she called me my sweet Thanksgiving baby, which is the dearest name called by mom.
You are okay now. The worst part is over now. Open your eyes, baby. It's okay to be scared. But you need to open your eyes now. My little sweet pea, please for me, baby.
When I opened my eyes, I saw my whole body restored, and this marked the beginning of an adventure guided by my mom. The first thing she showed me was a castle. It looked very old and very beautiful. I could see knights on horseback riding off into battle. I could also see that the castle was on a very green hillside. I could also see shepherding with their flock eating off the hillside. I then asked my mom if I could feel the grass because I had not seen such a hillside before. She took me down so I could, and as we got close I could smell the grass. It smelled like watermelon. The next thing that she showed me was an ocean. It was not one that was on Earth. The water was a dark navy blue, or a cobalt blue. My mom said it was okay for me to take a drink of water. When I did, it was so good. It was like nothing I ever had drunk. She told me that this ocean is where they all come to drink and to unwind a bit. My mom said she had one last thing to show me, even though it wasn't a happy one. I said it was fine, and she took me to our house to see my family and feel their emotions. Each room held a sense of great loss, heavy with sadness. Wondering if this was what my sister Mandy went through in her NDE, I asked my mom. She explained that everyone's experience is different, and Mandy still has things to do before having a similar encounter. I then asked if my mom showed me this to help me decide whether to stay with her or go back to my earthly family. She confirmed, wanting me to choose between the two places. My mom guided me to a significant moment she called the point of choice. There, a bright light illuminated scenes from my life on Earth. A golden center emerged, and I was instructed to observe the images. As I acknowledged my feelings, I witnessed photos of my schools, friends, pets, pranks, and family. The experience prompted reflection on the emotions I evoked in others. The light presented a pivotal decision, to stay or return. The crossing point stood before me, a mere 2 feet away, with the caveat that crossing meant a permanent stay. Having learned from the shared emotions, I expressed regret for the hurt I caused. Despite a strong desire to stay, the thought of my family's feelings led me to choose returning. The radiant light directed my mom to guide me back, reassuring me that I would feel pain but recover fully from stomach cancer in about a week. With closed eyes, I felt myself going back to my body, gaining lots of knowledge. When I opened my eyes after 6 hours, my family was happy to see me. Describing the weird part that felt like hell was tough, but I emerged from this experience, eventually recovering fully from stomach cancer in about 3 months. The mix of emotions and the mysterious parts of my story stayed with me as I tried to make sense of it all.